It is with great honor that I take this opportunity to welcome you to another awesome episode of 10 Full Life. My name is Sibusiso, and I would like to send a big shout out to you for joining us. Remember, you're the rock and roll star of this show, so you can start hitting us up on WhatsApp as well as Facebook with your questions or comments. We would like to take a look at that, and who knows, you might stand a chance to win awesome prizes such as airtime, data, as well as a 19-inch TV. Our show is proudly brought to you by Liberty, and it comes to you weekdays Monday until Thursday from 5 p.m. up to 6 p.m. But we are not available on holidays, so on Monday, unfortunately, guys, we won't be here. But do not worry, because we have got great pre-packaged content for you. To access all that, just go to your favorite app store and look for the 10-fold education app. It is for grade 10 to grade 12. It will help you with a lot of content when it comes to revision and preparations for your exams, particularly your June exams that are around the corner, as well as your end of the year exams. Without any further waste of time, we are now going to go back to the math. Remember, this week we are doing factor and remainder theorem, and today it is the last time that we're going to be focusing on this factor and remainder theorem. Next week we will be doing calculus, so please start sending your questions about about the differentiation by first principle as well as the power rule. We will be looking at that next week. So for now, Julian is on standby, Philippa is also on standby, I'm also on standby, and next week we are going to actually, not next week, but in the next part again, we're going to look at a wildcard question, so stay tuned for that. There's great content that is coming your way. All right, we're now going to go to a question that was sent to us by Lerato. Let's go and check out this question.
Hey guys, my name is Lerato from the West. Would you please assist me with 8.3.1 and 8.3.2? Thank you.
Right, thank you very much for that question. That is an awesome question, Lerato. I hope you are watching and you'll get a lot of help when it comes to how do you actually find a way around this very easy concept that we've been trying to assist you guys over this entire week. So this question is asking us to basically prove that a particular linear factor is a factor of a given polynomial. So for you to be able to show that something is a factor according to the factor theorem, when you substitute the root of that particular factor in the polynomial, the answer must be 0. If the answer does not become 0, then we have a problem. It is not going to be a factor. So what we are hoping for is that when we substitute this root of this particular given factor, the answer will eventually become 0. If it does, then that is proof enough that this is indeed a factor of our f of x. So let's jump right into the question and look at it. It says to us, given f of x equals 2x cubed minus 23x squared plus 80x minus 84. So this is the function that was given to us, and we now need to prove that x minus 2 is a factor of f of x. Okay, cool. So now for you to be able to do this, you just take the factor that we want you to prove and equate it to 0. When I do transposition of 2, x value is going to come out as 2. So I need to substitute these 2 into the given function of f of x. The answer must be 0 if this x minus 2 is to be a factor of f of x. So let's see what will happen there. F of x is equal to 2x cubed minus 23x squared plus 80x minus 84. So now when we sub 2 in this for x, this is going to become 2 into 2 to the power of 3 minus 23 into 2 to the power of 2 plus 80 into 2 minus 84. Great stuff. So now I'm going to go to my calculator and use it to try and see when we sub x here, which is the value 2, are we really going to get a 0? If we do, then it means that x minus 2 is a factor. So in this calculator that we have here, right, we are going to, let's clear that up. Substitute 2 is going to be 2, right, into 2 to the power of 3 minus 23 into, if you look there, right, it's going to be 2 again. Our x value is 2 to the power of 2, right? If you clear space there, it's going to be plus 80 into 2, close bracket, minus 84. And then when you press the equality sign, you find that you actually get an answer of 0. That is proof enough that indeed x minus 2 is a factor. So you actually close this by saying, since we got an answer of 0, therefore we can indeed confirm that x minus 2 is a factor of this function. Right, that is it was indeed a very nice question. We're now going to go to the other part of the question, which is the second part. It says to us that given f of x, which we already saw, as 2x cubed minus 23x squared plus 80x minus 84, we now have to show that, or we have to actually factorize it fully, hence or otherwise factorize f of x fully. Now, it's very important for us to understand something about our cubic functions. Because it's a cubic function, we're expecting to get not 1, not 2, but we are supposed to get 3 factors in total. We have already found the first one from our previous question, which was x minus 2. Now, our intention is to find the other 2 roots that are actually missing there. Now, when you are dealing with this, it is something that you've been doing the whole week. You've got a couple of options. You can use long division to factorize this. You can use synthetic method, but you can also use a very nice technique which we call monkeys eat apples plus bananas. That one I find it much more easier for me. It works easy. So I'm going to actually show it to you like we did yesterday. Let's go and see what will happen here. So I will basically take my function. This is how easy this concept is. You only need to keep one thing in mind, and that is your function, your f of x function, is in the form ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. That is how the general equation of a cubic function is. Now, when I divide this, we remember that x minus 2 was the first factor that we found when we substituted x as 2 in the function. So I need that 2. I also need an a value and a b value in order to perform this very useful method of factorizing a cubic function. So I'm simply going to take my cubic, 2x cubed minus 23x squared plus 80x, right, minus 84, and literally divide it by x minus 2. Now, when you do this, what you're simply doing is you're going to divide the first term with the first term. Let's see what will happen here. I'm going to divide the first term. So this one, the 2x cubed divided by the x. When you do this division here, 2x cubed divided by 2x squared, by x, you're going to get 2x squared. And then in the middle there, there's a monkey that is hidden, an mx term. And then for the last term, you will take your last term, which is 84, divided by the last term, which is minus 2. So negative 84 divided by negative 2 is going to give us a positive answer. And this answer is going to be 42. Right, so this is the first quadratic that I'm getting. And you need to bring back that old factor that we found ages ago. All right, let's see. This is basically x minus 2. Okay, cool. Awesome. Right, so this x minus 2 comes back here. Now, we need to now find what is this m value. This is the monkey value there. How do you actually get this monkey value? Well, it's very easy. Monkeys eat apples plus bananas. So my a value, according to the cubic, is there. There's my a value there, the 2. So I'm going to sub 2 here. The p value is the 2 that we substituted when we were proving that x minus 2 is a factor, which I'm going to put here, and then plus. The b value is the second term of the cubic, which is minus 23. Right, so this is basically going to be 4 minus 23, which amounts to negative 19. So the monkey is negative 19. Let's finish this off and see what will happen. So eventually, our function f of x is now equal to 2x squared, right, minus 19x plus 42 and into x minus 2. So now we are left with a quadratic, which we now need to factorize. Remember, when you are factorizing quadratic functions, you've got many options. If you don't like factorizing by inspection, you can always use a quadratic formula. There's nothing shame in doing so. A calculator is an instrument, not a monument. So don't be embarrassed when you're using it to solve your quadratic equations. But then let's see what will happen. This is basically going to be, I'm going to attempt to factorize this without using a calculator. This is going to be x minus 2. Let's see what will happen here. 2x is going to be our first factor. And then here we're going to see it with x here. So the last part is 42. I need factors of 42 that I can use to work out a value of 19. Now, if I look at this, the one that just jumps into my mind is the ones, let's see now, is 7 times 6 going to give us something interesting there? Yes, indeed, 7 times 6 is going to be 42. So I am going to use those. But the positioning is always important when you guys do this. So I'm going to put 6 here. and then I'll put 7 here. Because I need them to give me a positive value of 42, the signs need to be the same, minus and minus. And let's see what will happen here. I will now be sitting with 2x minus 7 into x minus 6 into x minus 2, which is then the function f of x fully factorized. Right. So it's a very powerful method that you can use to factorize this. But of course, if you don't like it, maybe if you find it a bit more complicated, I like it, I find it nicer and easier to work with. You can always use long division, but long division is long. Maybe synthetic works much better. And let's see if I was using synthetic, would I still be able to find the given function there? Synthetic is an easy method that Philippa and Julian covered extensively, if time allows. It's the one where you have to just draw a line like this, and then you put the number that you were substituting, which is 2, you write it here. You only use the coefficients of the function. Remember, your function was f of x equals to 2x cubed, right? Minus 23x, okay, minus 23x squared. And then we also had 80x and 84 plus 80x minus 84. So you just take the coefficients. You take 2, you take minus 23, you take 80, and you take minus 84. And then you work with those. Let's see what will happen. You always drop the first one, which is 2. When you go this way, you multiply. When you come down, you are adding. You're just multiplying and also adding. That is all that you guys are going to be doing. So 2 times 2 gives you 4, which you're going to write on top of this number here. 4 minus 23 gives you minus 19. You're done. You go back again. The multiplication, minus 19 times 4. Minus 19 times 2. Let's see what will happen when you say 19 times 2. Right, 19 times 2 without making mistakes gives you 38. Yes. So you write the 38 here, which is going to be negative 38. And if you do 38, okay, minus 80, what do you get? Well, it gives you 42, which you're going to write here as positive 42. And then you multiply 42 and 2, it gives you 84, and then 84 minus 84 gives us an answer of 0. So there's your factors or your coefficients of a quadratic that is going to come from f of x, because it's now going to become 2x squared minus 19x plus 42 into x minus 2, which will now look like the same quadratic that we had, which you can then be able to factorize. That was a great question. Thank you very much for sending it. We are now going to go an ad break. Please don't go anywhere after this. Julian is ready to take another question.